everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Points of Articulation. My name's Dave. Now, for the past year, I've been looking a lot at Star Wars Armada. Sure, the price point might be a little steep, but I guess you pay for what you get. Now, one aspect of the Armada game, which I've been overlooking, is Squadrons. Now, fighters can be very useful. In one hand, they could attack other fighters and nullify them, or they can all go after capital ships, using special abilities or bombs. They can be very helpful. So today we're looking at the Star Wars Armada Rebel Fighter Squadron 2 expansion pack. Now for the size of these ships, none of them are over 1 inch in length. These are very small. I'm saying about all these little ones with the 3 on the pegs, they are less than half an inch. And for the bigger ships, like the Ghost or the Lancer class pursuit craft, we're talking maybe 3/4 of an inch. They may be small, but this set does come with a lot of stuff. We get some tokens and cards, so we do have a lot to cover. We're going to look at the tokens, the cards, the models themselves, assemble a stand, compare it, and then we'll be done for today. So let's get moving. So let's have our token roll call. 7 defense tokens, 8 squadron ID tokens. And that does it for the tokens, so let's take a look at the cards. Now, if you guys would like to read the bottom of the cards, please pause the video. In advance, I am sorry for my pronunciation. I'm not very good at that type of stuff. Up first, we have the Z95 Headhunter Squadron. Very nice art. Now, for the second card, we have Lieutenant Blount, and he is also a pilot of a Z95 Headhunter Squadron. We have an Ewin Squadron. Very nice art, yet again. And then we have an Ewin pilot, Karan Horn. Very neat. Then we have the VCX 100 Freighter. And I love this ship. Beautiful art. And then we have pilot Hera Syndulla with her ship, the Ghost. The Lancer class pursuit craft. Very nice art there. And finally, we have pilot Ketsu Anio with the ship title Shadowcaster. Very interesting. And that does it for the squadron cards. So now, let's take a look at these ships. And here we have the Ewin, which first featured in the Dark Empire comic book series. So I guess you could say this is Legends / Expanded Universe. But cool nonetheless. You can see it has a nose cone and a cockpit similar to an X-Wing. We can see right here we have a laser cannon, which is kind of warped down, molded onto the ship itself. We have laser cannons on the wings. Not too much detail, but just enough to know what it is. And now for the bottom, we can see our 2 big engines of cylinders and also 2 laser cannons. Very cool. Nice looking tiny ship. Again, this is half an inch long, if that. So I think it's kind of neat they got all the detail they did in there. And here we have the Z95 Headhunter, a huge fan favorite. And from my own personal research, this bad boy first showed up in a novel by Brian Daley, released in 1979, I believe. It was called Han Solo at Star's End. So if any of you have read that, let me know in the comments below if it's any good. But look at the detail on this bad boy. We have our nose cone. We have our cockpit, which is nicely shaped and rounded. We have our engines, 4 of them. Nice wings. And on the bottom of those wings, we do have missile pods. So that's pretty cool. And also our blaster cannons on the wings. Very nice. I think it looks a little better than the Ewin. What do you guys think? And now we have the Lancer class pursuit craft, which first appeared in the novel Dark Disciple, released by Christie Golden in 2015. And I believe it was in Rebels. The ship does look familiar to me. If you guys know anything about this ship, write down below. But it looks very nice. We have our cockpit in the front. Right here. Looks like laser cannons on the bottom. Then we have Y-Wing type engines. At least, that's how it looks on this tiny little model. And just a nice body. It looks sort of like a Star Trek ship, but great details. Now underneath, we have some nice details as well. Nice recesses, I should say. Beautiful. And finally, we have the VCX 100 Freighter. The main reason I wanted this set, I'm a huge fan of Rebels, and I was happy when I got to see this model right here. Even though this is small, the details in here are amazing. We have our gunner sections, which are molded pretty damn well. We have our cockpit, all these nice panels, docking rings on each side. Back here we have the Phantom, which is molded in there. Very impressive. We have, let me see if I can focus. We have our engines. And on the bottom of the craft, tons of detail. Just amazing. I'm happy with this one very much. Now at this point in my review, usually I talk about the paint. However, what you see is what you get with these Squadrons. The Rebels are this nice light tan color. The Imperials are a dark gray. However, if you're good at customizing, you can do some great things with these ships. Now when you get your Squadrons, they're going to come in a lot of pieces. And basically you're going to get 8 of everything you see here. And these discs will be different. One side will be the pilot. One side will be the generic fighter. Now for an example here, I took apart one of the VCXs. And let's assemble it, and we'll choose Hera. Okay, to start assembling your Squadron, you're going to want to get this little tiny circle on the base. See how it's flat on the top? You want that to face up. Then you're going to grab your activation bar right here. Make sure that blue's on the right-hand side. And then I get my disc. We're going to go with Hera. And you're going to want to take this piece, and you're going to put it in like so. And it doesn't matter where this is right now. Now you're going to combine these two. And remember how that flat piece of the circle right here is up? That matches to this peg right here. So you're going to push it in like so. And we're almost good to go. Now we're going to take this little rod right here. Plug it in. And now for the last part, we get our ship. Now you can see on the peg, it's a half circle again. So you're going to stick it in like so. And just feel, there we go, slide it right in. And once everything's in place, you're good to go. And now for the smaller ships, usually you get a base like this, split into 3. And you just take your small little ships and peg them in like so. Now to compare with the Rebel Fighter Squadron 2, next to it I have the Millennium Falcon from Hasbro's Micro Machines. Over here we have a TIE Defender from Star Wars X-Wing, which is Armada's sister game, I guess you could say. We have 6-inch Admiral Akbar, loving this guy. And over here we have the Assault Frigate Mark II, which is one of the bigger Rebel ships. And you can see how they go with the fighters. Nice ships and figures all around. And that does it today for my review of the Star Wars Armada Rebel Fighter Squadron 2 Expansion Pack. Now this is made by Fantasy Flight Games, just like all Armada products, and it lives up to their standards. They are very detailed, even though they're so tiny, and tiny is the key word here. Again, the size of these are from ½ an inch to a maximum of 3/4 of an inch long. They are very small. If you're prone to losing things this tiny, I would say get some sort of case. Once you're organized, you're good to go. So what are the pros and cons of this set? For the pros, I'm going to have to say the detail is amazing on all these ships. Nice little panels, lines, you can see the guns. Fantastic. You get some nice squadron cards to add to your base set. You get some tokens. And the stands, I must say, are very nicely done. They're light, but they won't tip over. They have a nice wide base. And you can see they could hold up to 3 fighters, or some of the larger ones, like the Ghost. Now for the cons, obviously I'm going to say paint. I wish these were painted so much. Now if you're looking to buy this, you're looking at anywhere from $17 to $20 and up, depending on where you go. And I don't know if it's worth it, but if you want to add a little spice to your game, I say go for it, because it's good to add more variety and more different crafts to your Armada. So I recommend this to the players of Armada. If you're looking to add a little spice to your Rebel fleet, go for it. They're nice. You get some nice heroes like Hera. She's a huge fan favorite. And also, hardcore collectors. And that's basically it. If you want to get all these different ships and maybe customize them, go for it. You know, if you're good with paint, there is a lot of promise in these. But I can't recommend this to everybody like I normally do, because this isn't everybody's cup of tea. So that's everything I have to say about these ships. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, and if you would like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, everybody.